The Congressional Budget Office raised this year's federal budget deficit, the estimate by $400 billion. The CBO says the 80% spike can be blamed on four sources of government spending, including student debt forgiveness and the supplemental spending package. Our next guest says the findings are more dire than expected. Joining us now, Budget Committee Chairman Jodey Arrington. Mr. Chairman, welcome and thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
So you talk about a primary driver, 138 executive actions issued by President Biden, largely responsible for getting the deficit now up to almost 7% in an economy that's working and growing to some extent, at least GDP-wise. That's unheard of. But those executive actions.
Right.
What is it? Student loan, is that a major part of it? This forgiveness that we're seeing, this vote buying, whatever you want to call it.
Well, yeah. Well, leading up to this point, you've had trillions of dollars in legislative actions that were purely partisan, whether it was COVID or the Inflation Reduction Act. But the unilateral executive actions, the cost there is a total of $2 trillion, a third of which, to your point, is the student loan bailout. So we're now at the highest level of annual deficit, which has been revised upwardly by $400 billion over the last 4 months. And it's the highest level of annual deficit in the history of our country in terms of peacetime deficit. So we're on an unsustainable track, obviously. We're seeing a rapid deterioration. We have the highest level of indebtedness as a nation, that surpassing World War II levels of debt. And I think one of the big underappreciated factors is the cost to service the debt, which has tripled. I'm talking about interest on the debt, which has tripled under President Biden. $540 billion, 150% increase since he took office. And now we're spending more in interest, Joe, than we're spending on the national defense of the greatest country in the world. And it's even outpacing Medicare this year. Again, completely unsustainable.
We will talk about, because I can just tell you, Mr. Chairman, that the Democrats' heads are exploding right now because they want to talk about President Trump, former President Trump, and
sure.
and the deficit spending that his administration did, and the perhaps even, you know, if he were to be reelected, if the tax cuts do not expire, that will add significantly. Those aren't paid for if they don't expire. You can talk about that, but first I want to give you more raw meat to talk about. We're not even factoring in the open border, the open southern border.
That's correct.
That's not in the federal deficit. But you can't tell me that that's not a strain. I mean, we do need people to work. There's
sure.
a lot of tightness in the labor market. But how much is that adding to not just federal, but state and local municipalities in spending there?
Yeah, well, even if you net out any positive gains in terms of employment, we certainly have a labor shortage. I don't think the open border chaos is the solution. Yeah. But $150 billion is the conservative estimate, Joe. That's $9,000 per illegal immigrant in this country. By the way, that's more than we spend for military retirement benefits. That's more than we spend on the most vulnerable American in terms of health care. That's Medicaid. So it's certainly a contributing factor. But think about this: $150 billion there, $250 billion in waste, fraud, and abuse across the federal government. There are programs like the Earned Income Tax Credit, for example, that are wasting 30 cents on the dollar. And this, if you add it up over the budget window, it's more than the total economic output of Russia. So there are some very easy, straightforward, nonpartisan things that we ought to be attacking to start bringing down that deficit, putting us on a more sustainable path, and not loading our children up with the weight of a debt they'll never get out from under.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, the Trump administration got hit with the pandemic. A lot of the spending, deficit spending we saw there, had to do with dealing with that. Democrats will immediately point to Trump tax cuts and pretend that that's what added to the deficit, when in fact revenues are higher now than they were prior to the tax. So that there's a lot of revenue coming in. But there was spending that went on, too. If he were to be reelected, you know some of the things he wants to do with tariffs and maybe lowering the corporate tax rate again, not allowing the tax cuts to expire. How is that going to answer our inflation problems? Yeah, I mean, you got to admit, it'd probably make them worse, would it not, if he got to do everything that he's proposed?
Well, here's the thing. You've got to have, it's a debt per GDP. The foundation, I think, to strengthen our balance sheet and our country's fiscal future is having a growing economy. I think President Trump gets high marks for that. The CRFB, the Center for Responsible Federal Budget, that did this analysis about Trump versus Biden and their contribution to the debt, has a $1.9 trillion score on the Trump tax cuts. Well, they totally disregard the JCT, Joint Committee on Taxation, the Congressional Budget Office, revising it by $1 trillion because of record revenue. So we've got to grow the economy. We've got to have, and by the way, it was 1% over the last several years during the Obama administration, which is $3 trillion in savings or deficit reduction. So I think you got to start with the foundation of good economic policies. You can't attack your domestic energy. You cannot regulate and tax your job creators into the ditch. You can't make us not competitive on the global stage before tax cuts. As you know, our business tax rates were higher than any in the free and developed world. But you have to go in tandem and address the spending that's driving the debt. And nobody gets 5 gold stars or a Nobel Prize on reducing spending, not Republicans, certainly not Democrats. So you have to pair the two: growth, reducing spending, especially on mandatory programs, healthcare, welfare.
You might get a Nobel Peace Prize. The bar for that is like, you could definitely get I mean,
yeah, I can these days, I think.
Talk about inflation. All right, who's the vice president? Do you know who Trump's going to pick?
I don't know. He's got a great set of folks.
Do you have a favorite?
I like the governor Burgum. I like him. I like his business background. Yeah, I like his business background. I think that would be helpful. I like non-traditional politicians. I think we need more of those in Washington to sort of shake things up, and they can read a balance sheet and a financial statement, so we can start there. I
wouldn't want to be able to read it if I was going into government.
No, you don't.
I wouldn't want to look at that. Chairman Arrington, thanks.
Thank you, Joe.
Good to see you again on the show.
All right, you too. God bless.
Okay. All right.